Hey there, New Orleans injury attorney Brent Courier. What is the duty of care? What does that mean? A lot of times I use that as a jury charge, and depending on the type of case, what it means is how somebody is supposed to act in accordance with law and care they're supposed to give to a given certain situation. So, for example, if I had a personal injury case I was handling for somebody, and let's say I had a car that backed up into my client, or a truck that backed up into my client, then the duty of care that I would have on a board shown to the jury in a jury trial, it would say people who are backing up are supposed to use the utmost care. And for example, in a backing up case, jury charge will probably say that that person is, there's a presumption that they're at fault when you're backing up, and if the other person is still, for example. Or a duty of care in a hotel case, for example. Let's say you have a patron at a hotel and they're there and something, they're in a shower, for example, and let's say something were to fall in the shower, the rack, and the person became injured. Well, hotels have an innkeeper's duty of care, and they're supposed to provide a place that's reasonably safe for their patrons. And that the law even goes further, that hotels have a high duty of care because you have, I guess the logic is you have tourists and people from out of town not familiar with the property and all, so the innkeeper has a great duty of care to care for their patrons. So every case is different on duty of care. Jones Act cases, the employers have a duty of care to provide a reasonably safe place to work, the vessel. For maintenance and cure, they're essentially, that's the closest thing there is to strict liability on the seas. They're basically maintenance and cure. In other words, any medical bills for any injury that occurred in service of the vessel or fleet of vessels. So that's what duty of care means, how a person is supposed to act in accordance with law. Anyway, I use it as jury charges, and the courts apply the law.